Group. I'm Ella, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to today's high impact webinar on building Bangladesh's solar ecosystem, a collaborative approach to innovation, investment, and market growth. We're truly delighted to have you with us for what promises to be a thought provoking and forward looking discussion. Today's session brings together distinguished leaders from across the renewable energy value chain, uniting policymakers, developers, investors, and technologists to shape a greener, more resilient energy future for Bangladesh. Before we begin, let me take a moment to set the stage for today's engaging dialogue. As Bangladesh advances toward a cleaner and more sustainable energy mix, solar power is fast becoming a critical pillar for ensuring energy security, economic growth, and climate resilience. In this context, today's webinar aims to explore key strategies and collaborative actions required to accelerate solar adoption across sectors. We will deep dive into five core themes: navigating policy and permitting frameworks that will address regulatory hurdles and enabling smoother project approvals; developer and EPC collaboration that align project stakeholders to improve timelines, cost efficiency, and quality execution; fostering technological innovation, which will leverage digital tools, advanced monitoring, and remote operations to enhance performance and transparency. We will also discuss upon building local supply chains and workforce, enabling localization, job creation, and greater ecosystem resilience. And finally, financing models for market growth, exploring CapEx, OpEx, CPPA, and blended finance options to unlock deployment at scale. Before we move ahead, I'm pleased to share an exciting announcement. We are thrilled to announce the Bangladesh Clean Energy Week 2025, which will be held on September 23 in Dhaka. With the government of Bangladesh targeting 40% clean energy in power generation by 2041, including 10% from renewables and 9 gigawatt of cross-border clean power imports, this landmark event comes at a pivotal moment. The Bangladesh Clean Energy Week 2025 aims to be a catalytic platform to accelerate this transformation, featuring top-tier participation from over 200 plus senior stakeholders, including government officials, developers, EPC companies, financiers, OEMs, and solution providers. The event will foster deep, actionable conversations through focused agenda sessions and collaborative networking. We warmly invite you to be a part of this dynamic gathering and contribute to shaping Bangladesh's clean energy future. Whether you're a policymaker, industry leader, or investor, your voice matters. Let's now take a quick look at the event teaser. May I now request my team to kindly play the video. Thank you, team, for playing that video. Now let's start with a quick interactive poll to hear your thoughts. There seems to be some technical error here. Perlene, can the polls be presented? They're not visible right now. Okay, so moving ahead, let's dive into the heart of today's session, our panel discussion, titled Building Bangladesh's Solar Ecosystem, a collaborative approach to innovation, investment, and market growth. So before we begin, just a quick reminder to all our attendees, we will have a live Q&A session at the end, so please feel free to submit your questions anytime through the Q&A box. So we're truly honored to be joined by a stellar lineup of industry leaders who bring deep expertise and perspectives across policy, project development, finance, and technology. So please join me in welcoming our esteemed panelists, Mr. Mustafa Al Mahmood, President, Bangladesh Renewable Energy Society and Association, Mr. Ranadev Dasgupta, Director Technical from Solar EPC Development Limited, Mr. Mohammad Nahiduzzaman, Head of Business Development, Jules Power Limited, Mr. Mohammad Salim Reza, System Analyst from Internal Resources Division, Ministry of Finance, Government of Bangladesh, Mr. Sheikh Zihad Al Haq, Technical Sales Manager from Solace, Bangladesh, Mr. Fahad Ibn Islam, Country Director, Bangladesh, Nepal and Bhutan from JA Solar, Mr. Shahidur Rahman, Country Manager, Bangladesh from Jinko Solar. And moderating the discussion today is Mr. Shafiqul Alam, Lead Analyst, Bangladesh Energy Institute for Energy Economics and Financial Analysis. So a very warm welcome to all our panelists, and over to you, Mr. Alam.
Thank you, Ms. Erla, for setting the tone of today's webinar. And you have rightly mentioned that this is the right moment to discuss this expansion of solar sector, given that the government has recently approved the renewable energy policy, setting the target of 20% and 30% respectively by 2030 and 2040. However, there are challenges because government had to suspend some of the utility scale projects once in last September, following the suspension of the Quick Enhancement Act. So that have dented the confidence of the investors. Investors are not very keen to participate in tenders that we have observed in the recent round of bidding. Particularly foreign investors, we have reportedly foreign investors have not shown any interest. So eventually, this may create a period of project vacuum, particularly the utility scale projects. On the other hand, the chief advisor has recently instructed government agencies to take necessary steps to implement rooftop solar on all public buildings. So the information is SREDA is currently preparing a very brief guideline on that and how to proceed. On the other hand, 2 or 3 days back, there is a ruling from the High Court why even the private buildings in Dhaka should implement rooftop solar project on an urgent basis. So they have inquired this to the relevant agencies. So policy level changes are happening. On the other hand, there are regulatory challenges. Then we also need to streamline financing models and also build local ecosystem while also keeping an eye on the development of technologies. So there are challenges and of course there are solutions. So to discuss solutions, we have 7 speakers who already have contributed to the sector and will also contribute significantly in the sector's development. 6 of them from the private sector and 1 from the Ministry of Finance. So we'll discuss more. First, I would like to request Mr. Mustafa Al Mahmood. He is the President of Bangladesh Solar and Renewable Energy Association. So Mr. Mustafa Al Mahmood, so there is uncertainty led by the abrupt changes in the contracting process. More than 30 projects with LOIs have been suspended. So can you please briefly explain the bottlenecks in the solar projects, particularly utility scale projects, and how can policy and regulation be streamlined to accelerate the solar energy promotion in Bangladesh?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Shafiq. Give me the opportunity to discuss very important issues today. Actually, it is very crucial time, or you can consider as a very vital time to be discuss about the expansion of renewable energy market growth in Bangladesh. And actually, not only the issues of renewable energy expansion for Bangladesh aspects, but it is very important for the energy security for Bangladesh also. In this regards, actually, it is very nice time to discuss, and we hope we have the bottlenecks, but we should be overcome, and then we could go ahead to the expansion of this market. Actually, I would like to say some like whatever the question of you have mentioned. We do have actually some obstacle or barrier. There is no doubt, but also we have some hope and also some good news is recently whatever the come out from the different ministry and also different government parts. Recently, you mentioned very clearly that recently we have received the government policy, which is so long distance. Like 2000, this policy has made in 2008. After long gap, just 2025 has been renewable energy policy has been already in the published. That come just you said to 2030 is 20%. Of course, is very ambitious, but I don't think in this situation, which is the market already has been build the awareness. The most of the people is very well known as well as the well aware about the solar market or renewable energy market and what is the benefit, what is the actually the status and how the availability. This already has been quite very, people are know very well. There is one of the very good opportunity, I believe, to be ensure the expansion of renewable energy market in Bangladesh. That is one of the big issues. Of course, challenges about the policies issues. This is recently has been, focused, published. But I believe that the other small issues, which is now in the under the discussion with the all stakeholders, I believe it would be can be solved. Actually, as a president of BSREA and my team, board of directors of the BSREA, quite very strong raise their voice to every stakeholder to be resolve the issues and has to be go ahead on the solve the problem. In now we have found some very strong the obstacle or barrier, which is utility scale project. We know very well. Recently we know some of the project has been cancelled around 37%, which is in Bangladesh investment or foreign investment aspects quite challenges and also some negative impact for the foreign investors, and which is we have seen the 55 number of project has been in tender, but participation is very less, as well as there is very less foreign participation. This is quite alarming. I believe this raise of our voice and then like the today's discussion, it would be very impact to the in the government. They should resolve these issues and solve the problem. And actually, in my position, because of I'm in the completely same field, and also my board of directors is completely same field, and most of the members are very concerned, and we are working in. We would like to get more support from the team, the stakeholders, to resolve the issues and go ahead about the development of this market, expansion of the renewable energy, and also I believe it would be good time to be expansion and also stable, sustainable market development. Thank you, Mr. Shafiq. Yes.
Thanks so much. Yes, time is now ripe. Time is now ripe to expand renewable energy, and also we need to expedite because the government has just approved the policy and also now giving the different directives. So it will be better if we can collaborate all those stakeholders, and also of course with the government, because the sudden cancellation of the projects or the suspension of the projects had negative impacts on the investors. So definitely your voice will be heard by the government.
I don't know. Time is still. I can say something or not.
I will come back to you again in the second
Okay.
one. Yeah. So now I'd like to invite Mr. Nahiduzzaman, Head of Business Juice Power. So Mr. Nahid, so delays and high costs are some of the concerns in Bangladesh's renewable energy sector. How can we actually optimize cost and deliver solar projects on time while also ensuring quality? Mr. Nahid. Yeah, please unmute yourself.
Hello,
Yeah.
and thank you. Thank you, Fast View Group and the Solar Quarter to invite me as a panelist. And as my previous panelist and Mr. Safik already said, that this is the time. This is the time to raise our voice, how we can move forward. And already policy has been published, and though it's some of the point it's ambitious, and we are very much hopeful we are able to meet the target. Anyway, and another thing is my topic is the cost versus implementation, and whether we're able to implement the project by minimizing the cost or not. So for this point, there is a two team actually. We can say the developer and another is the EPC. So for the developer, we have to define the role. If we are able to define the role, then we can easily figure out the project feasibility technically and financially. Like developer roles, we can say focusing and minimizing and permitting and land acquisition and the world kind of approval, whether it is local or international, and also ensure the finance in a time. And if we are able to ensure all the developer scope in a time, then we can go forward the EPC part. Then we can define the EPC part and the EPC engineering, procurement, construction. So engineering, detailed engineering only comes up when we are able to provide a concrete site. Then detailed engineering will comes up, and based on that, we can ensure the cost. If our site is far away from the grid, then of course transmission cost is the important things. So then transmission cost will increase. So then that means to avoid this transmission cost, we have to find out a site nearby a substation. That is very important. And this is also a main point for the cost cutting. And also the time. Time means when we will place the work order and based on the market equipment cost. Like major part is the solar panel. So solar panel cost is fluctuating. Sometimes it's 10 cents, sometimes it's 11, 12. But though it's 1 or 2 cents, but the impact on the cost and project cost is huge. Basically, solar panel, as per our calculation, almost 40% of the project cost carry on or move forward to the solar panel. That means 1 cent is very much impactful. So if we able to place the work order in a time, then we can also mitigating our cost, and that's project financing or project viability is chances is increased. Okay, and we also think about the risk. There is a lot of kind of risk, like pre-construction or construction risks. So pre-construction risks, as I said, so if we able to get all kind of permits, there is lots of permits for IPP based project. There is lots of permits, but for the rooftop based project, there is a very much limited type of licensing. In our previous project, that I can share one thing is for the environmental issues. we have to obtain the site clearance for construction work. And though it's obtained, but some of times once the government or official, I mean the chair is the same, but official persons can be changed. So once another person comes up, and then he can restart raising some queries and other things. Then it's delaying our project. If it's delays in our project, then the project cost also increasing. So sorry, so this is important. So this is important for licensing. We have to obtain all kind of license in a time, and this type of risks we can mitigate for the delaying the project. Okay, and for construction phase, delay in delivery from the manufacturing side, that's also have to maintain. Okay, we have a Gantt chart for the project implementation Gantt chart. So if we delays, then entire project COD time also be delayed. Okay, gradually. Then it's might chances to get the penalties from the government end, like we are going to fail to achieve our RCOD. I mean the required commercial operation date. If we fail, then government can impose the penalty. Basically, not only impose, they also might think about the renegotiation of tariff. That also happened in our previous history. Okay, so timely implementation and dealing of the to avoid the dealing of the project. So all the things, the risks, we have to mitigate the risks. So in this way, I mean we have prepared a Gantt chart. We have to identify the risks, and based on the risks, we have to set the criteria. Which risks we will provide the high, which is the mid, and which is the low. Based on that, we can
May I ask
mitigating
one
the
question?
project.
May I ask
Yeah,
one question?
yes,
So,
please, yes.
So if solar panel is the 40% of the project cost,
Yes.
right? So that is 10 cent, 11 cent, 12 cent.
Yes.
But
Yes.
why, when we see the project cost, right, in Bangladesh, so why it is so high? We know that land cost is high, but sometimes also we see when the government provides the land, still the cost is high. Why it is so?
Cost is high because there's some other parameters. Okay, as I said, the transmission line and
No,
another thing.
Transmission line, yes, we are taking that into account.
Mm-hmm.
So per megawatt cost for utility project, let's say. So the amount, but that does not match with that 40% number, even 30% number with the solar panel, for example.
No. Now that I am talking about the present scenario. But right now there is no any proven project right now which is going to implement based on this cost. This cost is the present cost. I hope you understand that you are talking about the previous project. Let's say our Techna project, that time our panel cost is almost 40 cents per watt peak. Yeah. So that time, the 2018. So it's a time. So that's I said. So we have to figure out which is the best time and when we have to place the order. So that is also important.
No, that is fine. But even when we come across the cost, even in 2023, 2024, so we saw that the global trend is different. Bangladesh trend is completely different, right? What else is there? I will come back to you.
Sure.
I will come back to you. What else is there? Why we cannot? We know that land is exorbitantly expensive in Bangladesh, but still on the other components, we see that we are just not in sync with the global market, right? In many cases. So I'll come back to you again. So now this innovation and use of technology, these are all important today, right? So we also need better data management and improved monitoring. So can digital tools help in remote O&M? And where are we now in terms of using digital tools? I'd like to invite Mr. Sheikh Jihadul Haq. He's the technical sales manager at Solis, Bangladesh. So how digital tools can help in remote operations and maintenance, and where are we now in terms of using digital tools?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Shopik and Solar Quarter, to invite me as a panelist here. And digital tools actually has a very vital role to manage your operation and maintenance cost. Actually, digital tools working as a transformative role in operation and maintenance. By the digital tools, you can monitor many things. One of them, the real-time monitoring alert, predictive maintenance, monitoring, troubleshooting, performance analysis benchmark, automatic reporting documentation, digital twin, AI integration, and energy management system integration, many things. Basically, when you get the real-time monitoring alert, what does you get? Basically, the whole system is tracking by digitally. That means a digital surveillance system. Like your main component is solar panel, inverter, and entire system all over. Everything can monitor by the digitally. We can monitor. Like you have, when you integrate any solar system, there are many streams. You cannot imagine if 350 kilowatt inverter, there is 24 number string. So when it's a very bigger project like 100 megawatt, 50 megawatt, even though 1 megawatt or smaller project, there are many strings. If you consider there are a problem in single panel in monitor, but you can identify the string number, and even though now new technology also identify the panel, which panel is in under problem, you can easily identify by solar monitoring. And by this, to maintaining this, the most of the inverter company like Solis or Sungrow, Huawei, they all have the cloud monitoring system. And by this cloud monitoring system, you can get the many information data when your system face some problem. And another thing, the predictive maintenance. You just think your solar system installation, and it's let's consider it's 3 months or 4 months it's running, and after 3 months or 4 months there are many problem is coming, like your panel is totally covering by the soil or dust or many things. You can get a message from the monitoring system. PV panel string cannot generate the proper electricity, and this type of message you can get by the digital monitoring. And also you will get a message or emailing the utility manager, and when he get the message from the IoT device or like digital monitoring, he can take the proper initiative to clean their panel or anything. And nowadays, one common problem when you installing a system, generally AC part and DC part, this terminal sometimes melting due to the heat or anything. Now the monitoring system can also monitor this. There are temperature sensor, and they can monitor the temperature and give you the message your terminal is heating, and as well as they shut down your inverter. So you can get the predictive maintenance from this, and remote troubleshooting also possible. Remote monitoring, sometimes your inverter firmware need to get upgradation. Sometimes your inverter need to reset, and this type of problem, when we find a person can from his home or office, he can reset the inverter and reinitiate, or some problem he can identify remotely. Another thing, performance analytic and benchmark, like you install a system and it's generated power. But January month, if you send for January month, you have the 2024 and January 25, you can compare, because many records you can get from the digital monitoring, and you can compare 1 year to another year, and you identify how much degradation is occurring from a solar system. And another thing, automatic reporting and documentation. When an investor invest for a project, every year he needs some documents, or let's say a 5 megawatt solar system installation by investor, and how much revenue generating from this system every year. He can get the documentation automatically documentation he can get. This document can be daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, and other performance. We can also compare the digital twin and AI integration. Digital twin means when you install a 5 megawatt or 7 megawatt or any utility project, a shadow or a replica of the system, the AI integration automated, generated, and virtually he performance analysis the system, and one is a virtual system and one is practical system. Then this system can compare the production capacity of virtual system and practical capacity. Practical system is there is difference between the virtual system and practical system. Then you can compare how much energy you lost every day. In this way, this analysis is directly connected to your ROI. And another energy management system, the manage the energy generation, storage, and everything. And I would like to mention another thing here, that as I am working as a technical sales manager of Solis, we Solis Cloud have monitoring inverter level data remotely and receive instant alert on fault, analyze the historical trends, and schedule preventive maintenance, control export system setting remotely. And basically, digital tools convert the rooftop solar system from passive energy to generator the integration and responsive system. This leads to faster fault detection and better system uptime and higher returns on investment. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Sheikh Jihadul Haq. So yes, then that means this is the tool is very important, right? To
yes, this is very
predictive maintenance, but also important from the national perspective, because that will give us the data of the solar hours and I mean, what is happening during the summer, winter, or even the rainy season of the year. Great. So I would like to now request Mr. Ranadev Dasgupta. So, we need a proper supply chain, especially in light of the need to ensure quality. In the future, the volume of work will also increase, given that many public and private buildings will likely adopt solar at a faster rate than the prevailing rate. So how can we build a high quality workforce locally? And on a ballpark estimate, how many people can be employed in the solar sector, and in which areas? So if you could please tell us in 3 minutes or so, Mr. Ranadev.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shafiq. I'm really honored to share the platform with such a colossal personalities like Mr. Mustafa Al Mahmoud. Yeah, right. So the question is, how can we build a high quality workforce locally? So obviously we need to identify the sectors where we can, we need people to help us in this endeavor of solar future. So first of all, I can talk about technical and vocational education that you can integrate solar PV curriculum in diploma and polytechnic institutes, like partners with institutions like BTEB, NSTU, and the other universities also. And then skill upgrading can be done, because we do have a kind of skill professionals working, but I think with time we need more upgradation. So and then public-private partnerships, if we talk about it, we can engage solar EPCs, developers, and IPP in training programs. So these are the sectors that we need people, all right. And so when it comes to ballpark employment, then Bangladesh, as Bangladesh is aiming for achieving 10 to 20% of renewable energy contribution by 2023, 2030 and 2041, then basically from my experience, I can say that for utility scale solar, 10 to 15 full-time equivalent employee jobs we can think about, like per megawatt during the construction period. So this will give you an idea how much skilled workers that you need, and 2 to 3 full-time equivalent for per megawatt for the O&M. For rooftop solar, it is kind of 25 to 30 jobs per megawatt, and for the same number of people for O&M. But if we come to say manufacturing, that we are heavily aiming for, I'm sure Omera is already producing and producing, exporting solar PV module. So for that, for manufacturing, we need to, in a module producing factory, I think it's a large scale, obviously. For 5,000 to 8,000 people can be employed. So, and for development, EPC, if say engineers, we need engineers. I'm sure that this number can, can reach any any number. This can reach any number. It depends on how actually we are aiming and how far we would like to go with solar energy and renewable energy. And so to be, strategic takeaway from here is that to build the the workforce, that should be our main focus now, because we are lagging behind in skilled workers here. So we can collaborate with India, China, Asian nations for that, for technology, and we can target programs like Solar for Youth and Solar Women Entrepreneurs. We can think about, so that will bring more people into the sector. Thank you so much.
Thanks. So to share that the ballpark number per megawatt during the construction phase, and also during the maintenance phase, and also if we produce the module, then how much we can employ in the sector. Yeah, of course. And we also know that particularly in clean energy can certainly employ more people compared to the fossil fuel sector. So that is also a thumb rule. Now I'd like to invite Mr. Salim Reza, System Analyst, IRD, Ministry of Finance, to share his thoughts on finance. As we all know that finance is key to the country's energy transition. We need affordable finance. At the same time, we also need proper business models. So different business models like CapEx and OpEx are already adopted by different service providers or building owners, particularly in the rooftop solar segment. So Mr. Reza, according to your opinion, which model is more suitable for Bangladesh and why? And also particularly given that the chief advisor has given the directive to build rooftop solar on all public buildings. So please, Mr. Reza.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you and best of luck for this program. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Finance plays a decision role in accelerating the energy transition, especially in emerging economies like Bangladesh. Selecting the appropriate business model, CapEx, capital expenditure, bonum, versus operational expenditure has a direct impact on the scalability and sustainability of renewable energy deployment, particularly in the rooftop solar segment. In the context of Bangladesh, the OpEx model tends to be more suitable and resilient, especially for government institutions, SMEs, and low capacity commercial users. Under this model, the service provider installs, owns, and maintains the system, while the user pays for the electricity consumed, much like a utility bill. This relieves the end user from heavy upfront investment, capex, and technology risks. However, the currency depreciation risk is a critical issue in Bangladesh. When the value of the Bangladeshi taka falls against the US dollar, any contract or payment obligation fixed in foreign currency becomes costlier over time. For instance, rooftop solar system and components are often imported, and its contracts are dollar denominated. The financial burden increases unpredictably. This erodes financial predictability and puts pressure on public and private budgets alike. Hence, it is wise to denominate contracts in local currency whenever possible. This shields both public institutions and local business from exchange rate violation. Additionally, contract should be fixed term without adjustment causes that pass forex risk to the consumer. Financial discipline supported by local financial green bonds or blended finance mechanisms can reduce dependency on foreign credit and potential national financial scalability. So I want to say, finally, OPEX model is more suitable for Bangladesh, and if we know that there are many type of financial model, Bangladesh is current condition due to its lower and upfront capital requirement and faster scalability. Contracts should be fixed in Bangladeshi taka to avoid losses from taka depreciation and ensure financial stability. Government from Bangladesh financial institutions should encourage local currency financing and policy guarantees to build investor confidence and long-term sustainability. So I want to say financial cautions and locally adapted energy transition model will better serve Bangladesh goals for a just, green and resilient energy future. And if anyone give any other best financial model, we can discuss, or we can work collaboratively. If we negotiate both parties about this matter, I think with more competition and honest and suitable candidate or investor work for this sector, I think it will be very much helpful, and both will be benefited from this model. Thank you. Best of luck.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, but for clarification, but for rooftop solar, we don't go for contracts in foreign currency normally, right? It is a local currency contract.
Yes.
So there is no currency risk once it is installed. The risk is there if there is any delay, between the work order and the, LC, if there is a delay, significant delay in this process, then there might be currency risk. Yes, of course, we had a lot of currency risk because in my latest study, we tried to analyze that, and we saw that in between May 2022 and January 2025, probably, right? The currency depreciation was more than 27% against US dollar. So it is a huge risk, but that is mostly for the utility scale project. So one options could be like, somehow hedging. If government can set up, direct hedging with the bank will not be feasible for Bangladesh because bank will charge 5-6% margin. Then the cost of borrowing will be very high. But if government can engage with the MDBs, multilateral development banks, for currency hedging mechanism, that may help. But again, there are also other challenges. Anyway, there is another kind of discussion. We may discuss it on another platform. So we don't have much time. So I would like to request Mr. Fahad Ibn Islam, Country Director, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Southeast Asia, JA Solar, to briefly touch upon, this technology is changing. We have more efficient panels today. Overall system is cheaper than a decade ago. And how is this advanced technology driving down the cost in terms of levelized cost of energy? What about the battery energy storage cost in Bangladesh? Although we don't have much reference, Mr. Fahad. So if you could elaborate on that, but time is short.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So thank you, Mr. Shafiq, for giving us the floor to discuss about the critical topic. You asked about the LCOE, how the new technology is reducing the LCOE. Probably the LCOE terms is the most important terms among the developers. This is the leverage cost of energy, means the production cost from the plant. So as you see, the in terms of module technology, we have currently 4-5 technology that is mainstream in the industry. So let's start with monocrystalline. So we already know the monocrystalline, mainly the two type. The previous one, the traditional one, was the P-type modules. Like my previous panelist, Mr. Nahid, he also mentioned about one project of there is 29 megawatt, this Technaf solar park. So this 29 megawatt is also supplied by us. So this one is the P-type solar modules, the previous technologies modules. But now, in terms of monocrystalline, we have N-type modules, and recent projects we are also supplying the N-type modules. And apart from this monocrystalline in the market, there is also development of thin film technologies. This is a separate kinds of technology that many modules have, but the efficiency level is still low to make it a strong competitor that is commercially viable and commercially compatible in terms of investment and project IRR and the LCOE. So the new technology, even we are developing the further more efficient solar modules like the Perivis kit and tandem cells. So those kinds of technologies maybe will be available by 2 to 3 years. Okay, so this year in SNEC we have displayed the highest efficiency solar modules. The efficiency goes more than 30%. The module conversion efficiency. So those are the future products that will be available maybe by 2 to 3 years. But now we are developing the N-type top consoles, and the module efficiency goes maybe 1 to 2% higher than the traditional P-type modules. So those N-type modules comes with double glass bifacial. So this is additional gain for the developers. Like from the bifacial generation, they can expect to get around 4 to 6 or 7% additional generation from the same power plant. So like previously, maybe we have seen so many cases when we have done projects with P-type modules, like maybe we installed 100 kilowatt modules and the plant efficiency can be like 72 to 73%, and the peak generation we can get the conversion rate like 73 or 74 kilowatt from 100 kilowatt solar power plant. So now with this N-type modules, this efficiency raise a bit more, like the average plant efficiency we can see that 77 or 78% is so it's much higher than the previous P-type modules, and some cases it shows almost the similar kinds of generation than the DC install capacity. Means particular some cases in summer we have seen lots of project is generating like 100 kilowatt plant is generating almost near about 100 kilowatt, like 95, 96. So these kinds of technology and those bifaciality, these kinds of advantage definitely will make reduce the LCOE, that is a major production cost of the energy from a large scale power plant. So developers should look into these kinds of technology and take the advantage. So with these kinds of product, we also supplied two projects that is utility scale projects we supplied, and the generation is pretty well and the feedback is pretty well. Like the the land they calculate around 2.2 acres, 2.1 to 2.8 acres per megawatt installation. So now with this higher efficiency module, maybe they can reduce the land requirement, maybe more less than 2 acres. Okay, so we also developed our second generation N-type cells. So that product, the efficiency even higher than 1% than currently we have. So the module efficiency can go up to 24.8, this kinds of range. So it means the land requirement for a megawatt range installation will reduce from 2.2 acre to 1.9 or 1.8 acres. And next year, we also launch another J Solar patented technology, that is we call is finger interconnect technology. So this module, the efficiency even goes up to 25.5, more than 25.5%. So those kinds of case, maybe end of next year, the module we can able to supply, maybe the land requirement will be like 1.5 acres. Okay. So this not only reduce the land requirement, but also the cost of the installation of the project development, and also it will impact the major terms like leverage cost of energy, LCOE. So it will reduce significantly. And in parallel with it, the BOS cost will reduce significantly as the number of modules reduce, the structure will reduce, and all other component will need to reduce less. And it will definitely increase the project financial payback and IRR. So in terms of everything, I think in future, the renewable energy project development, the cost we are assessing right now, we are making the budget. So definitely it will reduce, and this will help the developer or help the country to adopt more solar powers and solar plants across the whole country. This is my very brief introduction about the module technology and what is happening and what is the near product and what is the upcoming product and which technology will be the more efficient and will sustain in the market. So apart from it, about ESS or energy storage system, you have one another questions about the cost of ESS. So you see, the ESS, still we have a bit way to go for to adopt the ESS in our country, because the ESS is not only the cost of the battery, but it also have done some impact about the country's overall power demand and the load pattern and the power requirement pattern also. Okay, so like other countries where ESS is so much popular, uh, especially among the residential users, they have a significant price difference between the peak hour energy price and off peak hour energy price. So these kinds of peak and off peak, when in Bangladesh, there will be also significant gap among these kinds of peak and off peak energy price. Then people would love to take these kinds of ESS storage and charge these kinds of battery when the off peak hour and use those kinds of power to feed in when the peak hour arise. So these kinds of things will definitely increase the ESS market in near future. And currently, in compare with our diesel generator cost, ESS is still a cost-effective solution. For the client who are highly dependent on diesel generators. So for them, the ESS system is still financially suitable. So whatever, maybe for other clients, it is still a bit higher costing. So in terms of price, maybe I can give you an idea. The per kilowatt hour, the battery, the standard good one, battery may cost around 150 USD per kilowatt hour. Okay, so it may varies based on the brand or based on the quality, the warranty, and the after sales and lots of things. So this is the cost about the lithium iron phosphate battery. But the lithium iron phosphate battery for commercial or utility segment application, it also have some limitations. Like the battery still produce lots of heat. That's why those kinds of battery, they comes with some coolant system like air coolant or water coolant or any other coolant, body coolant. These kinds of coolant system they comes up with. So this is one effective solution for now. But later on, battery technology is also improving, and the lithium-ion battery will be replaced by maybe the sodium-ion battery, because the sodium-ion battery will produce less heat and the life will be more. So again, when we talk about the battery price, is the price is not only the product price, but also the country's policy and the duties related with it. So the battery duty is still high, is 87% and considered as dangerous good. So the import way for battery is still not suitable. So some low quality battery we have seen in the market. So now people
Yeah,
they
but
bring
thanks.
it so
Thanks,
many.
Mr.
Yeah.
Farad. Yeah, I mean, good
Okay. Okay.
question.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes.
But yeah, you have raised a valid point. But I mean, given the power cost, even if we consider the utility scale, particularly our grid system, the
Yes.
highly expensive power comes from the well-fired power plants. So
Yes.
that is a case for battery storage in the foreseeable future to utilize for the evening peak demand, right? That significantly raises the grid power's average generation cost. So thanks for the insight. Yes, so 150 kilowatt dollar per kilowatt hour. That's the global number. We know that 130 to 150 as reported by Bloomberg. So thanks, and we have one more speaker, Mr. Shahidur Rahman, country manager, Jinko Solar. So if you could please briefly tell us, how can we build an ecosystem for a sustainable IPP growth in this segment? I mean, this solar segment.
Thank you, Shafiq Bhai and Solar Quarter for the floor. So I'm Shahidur from Jinko Solar, country manager of Bangladesh. We are a global leading company, and we are the only company who are top one for the 6 times. So basically, we are pure solar manufacturing company and technology leader. Which technology we are talking, like N-type technology? We are the leader. We have patent for the N-type, and also we have ESS. So basically, here I came here to talk about some IPP segment issue. Like as I previously worked in another top company, Sungrow, who are the leader investor in across the world. So we work to develop several IP projects. So in Bangladesh, we tried to develop 3-4 projects. So we faced a lot of issue for the land acquisition. So I think, Shafiq bhai, you know that for solar projects, solar panel is the most expensive. Also, land in Bangladesh is I think right now is the most expensive and most critical part. So, yeah, I mean, if you convey the message, or as I'm telling here, so if government take initiative to manage the land, yeah, I think you know that we have lot of cash land, like in Borapukriya, there are some lands in Chittagong area, in Sylhet, in Panchgor, in Kurigram, lot of land which is cash land. If government support to manage those lands, it will be very easy to manage the IP projects, and also for the transmission line. As we worked before Sungrow, I worked another local company. I think you know the 50 megawatt project, the Mymensingh near the university. So we faced a lot of problem to manage the right of way. I mean, for the transmission line issue. So for 132 kV kind of transmission line in 1 kilometer, 2-3 transmission tower was required. So for one tower, I think around 10 decimal or 12 decimal length required. So continuously managing this kind of area is quite tough to arrange. So if PGCB, even PDB and government take also support to manage this kind of land, so it will be easier. So for the foreign part, I think for solar projects, solar panel, inverter structure, not so tough, as we are the leader, we are manufacturing the best products. But for Bangladesh IPP project development, if government takes some support, if government supports for managing those things like land, right of way kind of thing, so it will be helpful for the developers to invest here, to do so more solar projects here. So this is the thing I want to tell. Yeah, thanks for sharing me. Yeah.
Thanks. Yes, government support is necessary. So yeah, if
Yeah.
government can help with the land in some of the projects, So then we can easily expand this sector, and also if the government can bear the transmission and distribution cost, and then and then they negotiate the price based on the so then we can also bring down the tariff at the same time. So now I will invite the all speakers again for very brief comment on each of the question. We don't have much time, so I'd request each speaker to just spend 1 minute, only 1 minute on each question. So first, I'd like to invite Mr. Reza from Ministry of Finance. How IoTs can enhance transparency in the monitoring process? Will it affect future project cost?
Okay.
Just very briefly, 1 minute.
Okay, thank you again, all of my respected panelists and audience. Actually, nowadays, we know that Internet of Things is a vast topic and is emerging as a transformative technology for enhancing transparency, accountability, and efficiency in public and private sector projects. In Bangladesh context, especially in infrastructure, utility, agriculture, and public service delivery, IoT integration offers real-time data capture, monitoring, and automation, which can significantly reduce misuse of resources and improve decision making. So, in real-time tracking of project execution, tamper-proof digital record, sensor data, prediction alert, anomaly detection, citizen-facing dashboard, and open data, and many other sector, we can use this technology. And solar sector, we can reduce total cost of ownership, preventing cost overruns and delays, improving asset lifecycle management, and reducing management cost through predictive maintenance, enabling outcome-based budgeting with measurable indicators. So I want to say, CapEx may rise, the OpEx and risk-adjusted cost will decline over time. This is especially relevant for smart public financial management and digital infrastructure monitoring and solar sector. So from the Minister of Finance, it will be more suitable in local pilot projects with IoT transparency framework and standard-based procurement aligned with international best practices and public-private partnership to absorb initial cost and share innovation risks in the IoT. If we integrate IoT with any project like solar project, I think both parties will be beneficiaries from an investment, and also user or consumer will be beneficiary from this. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. So, according to your opinion, while CapEx will increase, but the OpEx cost will come down. Thanks for that. So now I'd like to request Mr. Mustafa Al Mahmoud, President BSREA. So given that the chief advisor has announced that to expedite rooftop solar in the public buildings, on the public buildings. So what do you think? To what extent Bangladesh has a local value chain for solar sector's expansion, particularly in light of the chief advisor's directive? I mean, how much the local value chain is ready?
Thank you so much. Actually, this is very important right now for Bangladesh, that the government, chief of the government has been declared to go for the public sector. To all the buildings should have the solar system. Actually, this is very significant development for this market, this sector. But I believe there is some issues. Of course, renewable energy policy can be support on this, as well as now the requirement is the rooftop, net metering guideline which is needs to be focused. I mean, declared very soon. That is very important. In other hand, needs to follow by SEDA how to be expedite this chief of the state. The declaration can be make it effective. I believe we did some of the financial package. If it goes to the OPEX model, and OPEX model only the right system. Policy can be support, which is be easier to be expansion for the government roof. That has to have some financial support by the banks. What ITCOL is doing, but is not enough only by ITCOL. It should have the central bank have some of the policy can be support on these regards. But in other hand, there is some inverter has been reduced the tax, but did some other products also, like the mountain structure as well as the in also as a utility scale the solar project, they have the tax exempted by 10 years, 5 years, whatever it is. But in the OPEX, who is building the OPEX work, the business, that we also need to the this support. I think this is very important. Those are the issue. If the SEDA or in the Minister of Power take the responsibility, I believe it would be very nice for this time to be expansion of OPEX model as well as the solar rooftop system. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's just one question. Yeah.
Yes.
For example, if you are considering an OPEX model, right? So in the CapEx model, industries can go for bank loan, and then if they are eligible, or if the central bank approves, they can they receive the low-cost refinancing scheme, green refinancing scheme, right, at up to 5% interest rate. So is that rate also applicable for the service provider, solar supplier, or these EPC companies, if they want to do the project under OPEX model?
Yes, of course. I think this kind of financing, of course, it will help to the
No, will help. But I am asking that. Let's say I am an industry owner, right?
Yes.
Apply to the bank. What bank will do? Bank will approve the loan at a prevailing market rate, and then it will submit all documents to the central bank for the green refinancing scheme.
Financing, yes.
But for example, you are a manufacturing industry, or you are a EPC company. Now I have given the work order to you, and now you want to do this project under OPEX model, right?
Yes.
And now, will you apply to the central? Will you apply to the bank for this refinancing scheme, or only the prevailing market rate you will get?
Not yet this kind of getting support by the EPC contractor, but I think it need to be happen. That will be much effective to work. As you know, actually, every single industry, they have their own expertise or their own facilities to be applied to the the ITCOL or whatever the banks. And if it is company like who is doing the EPC, if they have the own this kind of financing, they can go for the one basket. It can work much faster and easier, but it is very important. We are working.
I mean, in my one study of 2023, I discussed this, that the demand aggregation, and then if the company can apply to the bank for a large loan at a lower rate, then that can help. Okay. So, but in traditional case, for example, how do you approach? Just you apply to the bank for the LC, right?
Yes.
Nothing else.
Actually, just we apply to the LC one day, then nothing else. That's why there is need to be some of the package actually. Then some basket is there, then it can work much easier and much faster, as well as the industry expansion will be the much easier on this regards.
Yeah. So I'm also planning to do another. I mean, since it is the platform to discuss, I mean, this is an opportunity to discuss, to know the concerns of all the project developers or the, manufacturers, so that we can actually.
Actually, you will be happy to know this rigors. We already has been BSRA team has been to sit with the ITCOL. The EPC contractor should have this kind of basket facilities. Then it can be many project can be done together, which is much easier. Of course, there is some of the guarantee issue. It has to be removed, and business should be win-win, and also business should have the comfort zone. And this we cannot be ensured on this issue.
But one query also, because bank want to normally what banks. I'm sorry, I will come to other speakers also. Don't worry about that. I will give you everyone. I will give. I mean, I will give fair time to everyone. Don't worry about that.
Thank you.
Okay. So the no, Mr. Nahid, I will come to you. The next question is for you, so I'll come to you. Mr. Mahmood, just to even for the audience, right?
Yes.
So. It is a matter of balance sheet also, right? For any company, when they apply to the bank for loan or whatever. So it's a matter of balance sheet also. So I just want to know, not about you, I just want to know, even the audience would also love to know, for example, the companies working in the rooftop solar space, right? If they get a certain work order, let's say not a demand aggregation, let's say 10, 12 work orders, somewhere 1 megawatt, somewhere 2 megawatt, somewhere maybe 200 kilowatt. Altogether, it may become a package like 20 megawatt, right? Do these companies, most of these companies have the capacity to implement this kind of projects? Let's
Yes,
say.
there is very significant question, and I really love to know this question actually. You will be happy to know that in the market, our BSRE, the member around 150 members, and I believe there is at least 30 to 40% company, they are very much able to do this kind of work actually. And we have this capacity, not only in the aspects of financial, we have the technical capacity as well as the, we have the design and other part also, we have this capacity. Then our member is really eager to do this business and they're ready to do so, but need to the comprehensive support. That is lack of the support from the the government part. That's why the BSRE, since long we are working with the ministry as well as the STRADA and also the ITCOL and also other stakeholder. That you should be develop this kind of companies that they can work in a comprehensive way, which can be supported very widely, as well as it can be get the very good result for the rooftop market. That is really we are eagerly waiting for this support actually. That's why last meeting in front of the advisor we said the BSRA member are ready to work for the rooftop. Just give us the policy support as well as some basket of the financing support from the central bank.
Great. Thanks. Good to know, because I will also quickly develop a study based on the government chief advisors directive. So good to know this, insight. So I'll be able to include all of them. Thanks. And now I'd like to request Mr. Nahiduzzaman, Head of Business, Jules Power, and what role actually corporate power purchase agreement can play, given that, these apparel industries have their ESG requirement. They need to reduce their emission. They have signed the UNFCCC Fashion Charter to reduce, 30% GHG emission by 2030. On the other hand, buyers, they have their obligation. They need to reduce their Scope 3 emissions, and that fall on these industries, right? Mr. Nahid, if you could, briefly take.
Okay, thank you. So before move forward about your question, so I would like to add your previous question, which you raised to Mr. Mustafa, BSRE president. So you raised the question about the financial issues. So basically, there is no finance problem actually. So for I think you raised the same CPPA question and OPEX. This is the most similar, and that will develop by a third-party company, like a developer company, okay? Like Jules Power, like an example, as we are the developer. So we can implement that project. So financing, there is no issue. Issue is the policy. Like if we develop a IPP-based project or a tender-based project, then we will get a different attractive policy. Whereas if we develop a rooftop OPEX project or a CPP project, basically CPP policy is developing, and we already advise honorable advisor or the power division to implement all the benefits which we enjoy for a tender-based project or the IPP-based project. Okay, that tag with the Bangladesh Power Development. But the last is for the OPEX or the CPP. Okay, now come to the point how CPP helps the RNG sector to decarbonize their industry actually. So basically we have to understand how CPP will works and what is the CPP. Basically, CPP is the corporate power purchase agreement in a abbreviation. That's fine. But there is 3 type of CPPA. One side PPA and the direct PPA, and another is the virtual PPA. So one side PPA, we can say, like he has the industry. So in the industry sites, he can implement the solar. This is the one side PPA, and that's called the OPEX. And the direct PPA, like we developed a solar power plant off-site of his industry, and then through the transmission line directly he can consume. So that's the direct PPA, and it's little bit tough for the RNG sector. Basically, most of the RNG sector located in the vital area where land is quite expensive for the solar. So it's tough in Bangladesh scenario. And for the virtual PPA, and we can develop a solar power plant remotely, and the industry owner can purchase that electricity and they can enjoy through a utility scale distribution. That we are talking for right now, and that policy is developing. So if this policy is developed and with a government concrete physical financial incentive, then it's very much possible, and it's very lubricant as well in Bangladesh. Basically, there is no virtual PPA in Bangladesh right now, though we see in the last investment summit, Pran and HMN signed a virtual PPA, but I don't know when it will implement. Basically, draft policy is exchanged for the stakeholder views and comments, and we already provide our comments. So if government provide their financial incentive, then it's very attractive for the industry owner. And if we implement this CPPA, how industry owner will be benefited? They can enjoy a fixed electricity cost, they can budget, and also they can enjoy the carbon-free electricity. So in this way, they can decarbonize their sector.
Okay.
Thank you.
But additional question to you, but
yes,
very
please.
briefly. So different models, financial models are there, and so battery still is costly, right? It's still costly.
Yes,
so
yes.
What policy or market intervention could make this bankable? What market intervention?
Considering the battery, so of course, battery is the right away, it's expensive. But if we think about the global trend, I mean the technological trend, battery, lithium-ion battery cost is decreasing rapidly. So initially, if we think about the 1 kilowatt energy with a battery, it's come up in Bangladesh taka 2024. Okay, and now it's decreased to the 15. We are very much hopeful.
15? It is 15 in utility scale project or the rooftop solar?
I am talking about the electricity through a ESS system. Whether you can rooftop or whether you can utility. Okay, I think there is no much impact actually.
Not much impact.
Not much impact, yes. So, if we think about, well, if we get a financial benefit,
no, but why not much impact? Because if you consider the utility scale project, then you need the land cost for that. But for rooftop solar, if you consider, so then you don't need land.
There is one
still.
Not significant is like I can say. Basically, why it's not. Basically, for the rooftop, we are not able to design as a design perspective. We are not able to design as per the technological requirement. Whereas for the ground mounted, we can design as per the technological requirement. So in this way, we can minimize.
Okay. So what would be the cost then? Taka 14, 15.
14, 15 like that.
Right now.
Right now, yes.
With that $350, I mean $150 per kilowatt hour battery cost, right? And then the tax and other costs, right?
Yes. Within that cost, yes. I think it's possible.
But it will be expensive if you consider, for example, let's
say you correctly figure out it's expensive, considering with the utility electricity.
If you consider, let's say, if we want to do something like that, we want 3-4 hours during the day, 4.5 hours during the day, and then we want 2-hour backup, let's say, in the evening. Then it will be expensive, right?
Yes. I think basically there is lots of way actually. So if we implement our technological way, then we can figure out how we can minimize. I think it's
Great. But
possible.
what policy or market intervention can help? Of course, we know that high import duty is still there, right? 89 point something 44%.
Of course. Of
But
course.
what else? What else is there? Very briefly.
Yeah, very briefly, if you think about the policy means, see, as I figured, states, if we think about our contact with Bangladesh Power Development Board and contact with a industry owner, there is a lots of gap actually. So if we contact with Bangladesh Power Development Board, then we will enjoy the income tax benefit, as Mr. Mahmood said, 15 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Whereas if we sign with the industry owner, there is no income tax benefit.
Right.
That's the operational period. Before that, duty tax.
Yeah.
When we'll import the equipment by contacting with the Bangladesh Power Development Board, then we can enjoy only 5% duty. But when we will execute this contract with the industry, then we
I
have
will
to
ask
pay
one more question, but
100%.
later,
Yes.
just during the concluding session.
Yes.
That will be the concluding question. So next, Mr. Sheikh Jihadul Haq. So given the issue of underperformance in the rooftop solar sector, right? For instance, how the government declared, a decade back that if you want to get a new electricity connection, you will have to, harness 5 to 10%, I mean 5% probably, or up to 5% of energy from solar, right? So because of that, many non-performing stranded assets are there, on different groups. So how can actually IoT help? Already we discussed, but very briefly.
Yeah, IoT can help this. Let's say any home or any application, you need the electricity connection, and you will install your requirement. Government requirement is 10 kilowatt. You will install 8 kilowatt. But when you have IoT, no one can reduce the system capacity. This is a confirm, because you all data you get the digitally, and you have the cloud dashboard. You can see the your record, how much energy you generated from. So that if government allow this, then we must need to implement the IoT device. Otherwise, you cannot maintain the undersized capacity of solar system. So this is very much essential to introduce IoT in every system. It should be mandatory. IoT is the part of the monitoring system. So if we introduce, if any device can detect your voltage, detect your current, and panel mismatch and other issues, then you can understand how much capacity you recommended for installation and how much energy you generated from your present system. So the system imbalance, that means you try to save your some money and only installation your system for electricity connection. You can manage this type of problem by IoT device, I think. And beside this, when any investor, let's say for this type of small project, if anyone invested for this project, this type of data also give him the accurate information about the devices. And I think for this type of solution, when government allow every office or every residential area for a small system, the system should be coming under IoT system. In that case, the system monitoring, and if any system have any problem, instantly we can identify the problem and solve the problem. That's why IoT is very essential, I think.
Thanks. Mr. Fahad, so can we really reduce costs if the government provides land? For example, there is concern that even government provides if government provides the land, cost may not come down. Just very briefly, Mr. Fahad. No, I don't think he's here anymore.
Probably he was facing some technical issues.
Okay. Yeah. Mr. Dasgupta, what should be done to improve overall project quality, both in small scale and utility scale segments? very briefly.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I mean, maybe I'm the right person to ask this question because I've been facing because I myself am EPC. So we do have some quality control in place, like it calls SHREDA and BSTI. They are actually we need to go through them before installing any solar PV projects. But what we can also do, like we can develop pre-qualification of EPC contractors that you can do. Okay,
Yes.
like we can develop a graded vendor registry system where the EPC for EPCs, like and then design and engineering best practices we can force, and obviously you understand there's no alternatives of using quality components and procurements. So obviously this is a must. Then what you can another thing we can do, that we can make it mandatory, like independent third-party inspection before handing over the project to my client, that they can do it. And as you have been talking about monitoring, digital monitoring and analytics is a must for a long-term performance guarantee. And basically, both for big and small, basically the key issues that we have is the poor installation, lack of skilled manpower, limited after-sale service. These are very common. Use of low-quality equipment. This has been the common trend, and this is for both small and and if you talk about from my experience, I know, so utility scale segments, basically the civil work is very weak. The quality is very not very good at all, and poor site assessment is another reason. However, as I don't have too much of time, so I just would like to stop here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, you have rightly mentioned all those things. One aspect is also there. For example, SHREDA has a list of this vendor service provider.
Yes, right.
Everybody is there. Everyone is there. So there has to be some exclusion criteria.
Exactly. So we can have a registry qualified for qualified EPC
certification process.
Absolutely right.
Criteria.
That's
so
right.
Then, So, but has Mr. Who is that? No, Shahidur Rahman has not joined back, right? So my last question to Mr. Nahiduzzaman. Yes.
Yes, please,
Okay.
please.
So
Yes.
this is the final question.
Yes.
Okay. Let's say hypothetical case of a project to be implemented under OPEX.
Okay.
Right? Rooftop solar.
Okay.
Given that energy tariff will not be fixed, it will certainly change. It will certainly increase, right? I mean, government will revise the tariff, right? So how would you see, for example, let's say my rooftop. In fact, I have one on my, but
So,
my rooftop, let's say current tariff, industry, that's more than 10 taka, right? My fixed flat rate, 10.55 or 10 point something, right? So now I want to, do this project under OPEX, and you have been selected. How would it be
yes.
case 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, because tariff will be changed, right?
Basically, very interesting question. And we faced a lot in our previous project. This type of real life example. Okay. What happened now? So though the tariff, but we faced another things. Another things means, the inflation rate.
Yeah.
That's the very much impactful in our project financing actually.
Yeah.
So tariff, the government tariff, they change in the month of June, July. Okay. In some of case, they also change in the term, like the SRO they change. Okay. Yeah. But this very rare things. But inflation, that's not in under control in the Bangladesh government actually. Of course, it's directly control, but indirectly they don't have the control. Okay, so that's much very impactful. When we secure a project, like in 10 taka with a fixed assumption, but in when we start the execution or end of the execution, tariff has been changed. So then there is no chances to talk with the client actually. If we go for the client, okay, is this tariff has been changed?
Just one
Then
second.
of course they don't will increase that.
I'm giving
our
you
tariff.
just one thing. For example, your margin is, let's say, 30%, right? Right now I'm paying, let's say,
risk margin.
yeah, let's say, or 35%, let's say 35% or 40%, let's say. Now I'm paying, let's say, taka 10.55, right, per kilowatt hour. And now you will be implementing the project. Once the project is commissioned, then you will charge me, you will take that 40%, right? Remaining, right? So now the question is when, because in 2023, government adjusted the tariff 3 times by 5%, 5%, 5%. And in also 2024, it changed by 5%. And given the subsidy burden in the power sector, government will certainly adjust the price in the future, definitely. So then when the price will become 12, will it again remain 40%? Or how the contract happens? Because, people continuously...
Basically, it's depends on contract. It
Okay.
depends on contract. Like for the tariff, there is two types of tariff, we can say. One discounted for the utility grid or a fixed. Mostly industry owner they are very clever person and they always go for the fixed tariff.
Yeah.
they always assume the utility tariff always increase. So their profitability is increased, whereas our profitability is decreased.
Oh,
And this is a
your margin remain fixed.
Remain fixed, yes.
Okay, got it.
But it depends on the negotiation, depends on the yes.
Definitely, because it's important, because as I said, because a lot of dark area still, because I mean, obviously rooftop solar has got the extraction from 2010, 11, but still a lot of unknown variables are there. That's why the sector is not expanding. A lot of misinformation, disinformation also persists. Anyway, but do you have any question in the chat box? Okay, one question. 2 questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay, couple of questions, not 1, 2. So one question is there, as Bangladesh moves closer to its renewable energy targets, okay, let's see, let's say closer to 2024, 2028, 2029, we are very close. So where do you see the biggest untapped opportunities for growth in the solar sector over the next 3 to 5 years? Who wants to address? What is the most, we should tap into, but we see that this is the untapped opportunity. Who would like to address? Mr. Dasgupta or?
Yeah, maybe it's a very good question, actually. I mean, untapped, obviously, I mean, we need to, what are our opportunities? Let us focus on that. I mean, we do have rising urban, commercial, and industrial demand for clean electricity. So this is because we do have ambitious government plan, but the scenario is a bit hazy now. You understand, for the transition that you are going through. One is already on the card, which is the merchant power plant. That is going to play a very important role in our development towards solar. And another, I don't know, I haven't gone through the policy in details as of today, but I think we know about off-site power plants. Okay, so there are we basically need 2 things. One is, I mean, R&D. We need R&D for our financial models. We need to come up with new ideas in financing. So if we can do so, And if you can say channelize the fund for this, I think these are the untapped areas. I mean, I think so. I mean, developing more models, and with that, I mean, channelizing the finance, and that's what I can think of for now.
Okay, but we'll, I mean, end the conversation very soon. But before that, one question to whoever wants to address among the panelists. So government is revising the net metering guidelines, right? So that is, the cap was 70%. Now it will be 100%. That we understand from the media reports and discussions. And then also the buyback rate. I mean, that if there is excess, there is an unlikely scenario. But even if in special circumstances, if that happened, so probably the government is increasing. Earlier it was the bulk rate. Now government is planning to increase it, right? Probably some percentage, 80 or 90%. I'm not sure of the tariff of that consumer. So how do you see this? Will this boost this rooftop solar segment? I mean, are we expecting a boost, a revolution, something not to the scale of Vietnam, maybe at least a part, let's say part of that? Are we expecting that?
There is a chance, I suppose, because Vietnam has done exceedingly well, because they are actually very, their FIT actually, I mean, their FIT is like, it has boomed like anything. And rapid deployment of the projects. That is the main driving force of boosting Vietnam's solar sector. So with these, it may work as an incentive, I'm sure. I mean, to some extent, but provided the other policies are in place to help this. I have cleared myself. I mean, I think you have got my point.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there are other issues. Okay. Okay. So now, yeah. Okay. With that, I'd like to hand over to Miss Khan. I mean, we have discussed a lot of important aspects of this, both utility scale and small scale segments of solar. And given that the government has enhanced its ambition for renewable energy as a whole, and also it wants to see a lot of improvement on the rooftop solar segment. And we discussed a lot of the financing, risk related issues, and how the capacity can be enhanced. I mean, particularly human resources, and also the project developers, how the issue of land can be addressed. Also, the battery energy storage, because we never heard any candid opinion from anyone on any other platform. But here we could have, we got the message that it can be taka 14, 15. If that is the case, so my bet is we can certainly replace the oil-fired power plants even at night. So that can help out not only enhance renewable energy, but also reduce our average power generation cost, given that the average generation cost of the oil-fired power plants is in last fiscal year, not 2024-25, but before that year was taka 25-26 per kilowatt hour. So there is, I mean, there are a lot of opportunities, and we need to be hopeful. And with that, I am handing over this to Ms. Khan. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alam, for expertly moderating such a meaningful and insightful discussion. And our sincere gratitude to each of our panelists for your valuable inputs and real-world perspective. Before we just conclude the webinar, I would just like to launch a few poll questions to get to know our audience a bit better. So just bear with me for a couple of minutes while we launch the polls. So I would once again kindly request the audience to submit their answers for the polls. They should be on your screen now. Okay, I'm launching the second poll now. So you should see the second question on your screens now. And the third and final poll question has also been launched. Kindly request all participants to submit their answers. So while you are all submitting your answers, we hope today's conversations have sparked new ideas, built connections, and inspired a renewed commitment toward advancing solar energy in Bangladesh. But this is just the beginning. We invite you once again to be part of the Bangladesh Clean Energy Week 2025, taking place on September 23rd in Dhaka. So let's continue this journey together toward a more sustainable, resilient, and energy secure Bangladesh. Here, I would once again like to screen our event video. So I kindly request the team now to play the video. Thank you, team. The floor is now open for networking, so feel free to connect with your fellow attendees, speakers, and industry peers. Thank you all once again, and until next time, stay sustainable and stay inspired.
Okay, so okay, then we leave.
Mr. Shafiq, how can I communicate with you? Is there any?
আমাদের ওই যে ইয়েতে আজকে তো ইয়েতে ছিল, ওখানে আমার নাম্বার ছিল।
আচ্ছা, ওখানে নাম্বারটা আছে, তাই না?
হ্যাঁ, ওই যে আমি গ্রুপে যে আজকে যে আলোচনা
আচ্ছা, আচ্ছা, রাইট, আমাদের গ্রুপ থেকে পেয়ে যাব।
হ্যাঁ, ওখান থেকে
থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ। Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we do have the networking zones. So please feel free to join if you would like to.
Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.
Thanks, bye.